Central Bank says the economy will grow more slowly than expected, while inflation continues to wipe out wage rises. Hsinchu Mayor-elect Gao Hong-an is out on bail as she faces corruption charges. A coal-fired power plant in Yunlin County is set to transition to generating electricity with natural gas. A week-long event with the goal of making Taiwan a leader in Web3 development has just wrapped up. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Chen. Taiwan Central Bank says the economy will grow more slowly next year than it expected. The bank cut its forecast for 2023 growth to just over 2.5%. That's almost half a percentage point lower than it predicted in September. Stash Butler has the story.
Taiwan's economy is slowing down. After the boom year of 2021, when a thriving tech sector pushed growth to more than 6%, the central bank has now lowered its expectations for this year and next. In September, the bank predicted Taiwan's economy would grow by just over 3.5% this year and 2.9% in 2023. Now, it's slashed both those forecasts to just over 2.9% this year and about 2.5% the next. The bank also expects inflation on the price of everyday goods to slow down next year, so it's announced only a small rise to interest rates. That should mean less of a squeeze on economic growth. But the smaller interest rate hike also means less of a push to stop inflation from driving up prices for consumers here. And those price rises have wiped out any potential gains from higher salaries. Accounting for inflation, official statistics show wages have actually slightly shrunk.
真的差很多，没有办法。
不管是在大致去连锁餐厅吃饭，或者是小致去菜市场买个东西，那东西一定是会有差别的。
明年预计还更差嘞。
Overall, Taiwan is in far better shape than in places like Europe, where many countries expect their economies to shrink. But lower growth forecasts and ongoing price rises mean many Taiwanese are looking at their personal finances and feeling less than optimistic. Karma Xu and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
A lawmaker accused of corruption is now out on bail. Gao Hong-an faces charges of embezzling public money. She says the accusations are baseless. But as John Van Trieste reports, the case could derail her plans to take up her new post as Hsinchu mayor.
In uncertain political future, lawmaker Gao Hong-an of the Taiwan People's Party, or TPP, is led into a Taipei prosecutor's office for more questioning. A whistleblower says she pocketed tens of thousands of US dollars of government money meant to pay her staffers. After a month-long probe, she's been charged with corruption and released on bail. This comes just over a week before she is supposed to leave her old role and start a new job as mayor of Hsinchu. The northern city of 500,000 is a hub for Taiwan's high-tech sector and the only big city or county the TPP won in this year's election. Gao's party colleagues say they will stay out of the case.
本党团都一切尊重司法调查的整个独立性跟整个检调的一个职权。那我想，其实我们也要秉持这个侦查不公开的一个原则，我们就静待司法来去还原最后的事实。
Gao has just over 3 months to be sworn in. If she's unable to do that because she's in custody, her election win will be legally forfeit, and the city will vote again. This means her party stands to lose its biggest gain this year. Gao, for her part, says the accusations are untrue.
本人在立法院所聘用的助理，所有的一切都是合乎立法院的法规，所以呢，在这个部分的话，完全是合法合规的。
Now, it will be up to the courts to decide, with her fate and the leadership of one of Taiwan's most important cities on the line. Klein Wong and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
The United States plans to send more officials to Taiwan on a 2-year program starting next autumn. The U.S. currently sends government employees to Taiwan for just months at a time. But under the Taiwan Fellowship Act, successful applicants will be able to spend 1 year learning Mandarin and other subjects in Taiwan. They can then spend an additional year working with the Taiwanese government agency or parliamentary office. The program sponsors say it is designed to strengthen the relationship between the two countries. The Taiwan Fellowship Act is included in the United States National Defense Authorization Act, which was approved by the Senate on Thursday. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has met with the chair of the Japan-Taiwan Exchange Association in Taipei. The association is Japan's de facto embassy in Taiwan, and Mitsuo Ohashi has been chair since 2011. President Tsai thanked him for his contributions to deepening Japan-Taiwan ties. Ohashi says peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait is very important to the security of Japan and the world. Tsai also thanked Ohashi for Tokyo's support for Taiwan on the international stage.
在这里，我要感谢日本政府多次在各个国际场域支持台湾的国际参与，以及强调台海和平的重要性。未来，台湾将持续争取参与国际组织以及加入 CPTPP 等区域经贸合作机制，希望日本能够持续的支持台湾，一起促进区域的和平繁荣发展。
Taiwan's cabinet has approved draft amendments that would bar many ex-convicts from running for political office. The proposals are meant to stop links between politicians and organized crime figures in Taiwan. The rules would apply to people running for any level of political posts, from the president down to village chiefs. In August, an anti-corruption NGO reported that 15% of Taiwan's city and county councilors had criminal records. But critics say the changes would deprive ex-convicts of their constitutional right to run in elections. The proposed amendments will now be sent to Taiwan's legislature for approval. An official from Taiwan's Interior Ministry spoke about the crimes it covers.
你犯处犯罪或者制造、运输、贩售毒品、枪炮及洗钱的，那犯这些罪，那经有罪判决确定，那这些都不能登记参选。
A coal-fired power plant in central Taiwan aims to switch the majority of its electricity generation to natural gas. The move is designed to comply with new emission reduction goals. But is it too little, too late in a fight against climate change? Sally Jensen investigates.
This is Mailiao coal power plant in Taiwan's central Yunlin County. Around it live many terns. Their lakeshore nesting grounds are highly sensitive to environmental disruption. Taiwan's Environmental Protection Commission requested an impact assessment this week on plans to replace Mailiao's existing coal-fired units with liquid natural gas, or LNG. The proposal could disrupt the tern's delicate breeding and migratory patterns.
整个煤转气的部分哈，那我们第一阶段就是锁定所谓的麦寮电厂要优先转型成天然气哈，那这次也顺利通过哈，那未来我们会持续来做一个关注。那针对整个施工的期程当中是会造成一些公安的一个情况，或者是未来管线的布设，我们都会特别的关注。
Under the new plans, natural gas power generation would be increased to 50%, while coal-fired power generation would be reduced to 30%. Taiwan's Ministry of Economic Affairs believes that converting coal to gas-fired units will help the country reach its goal of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. They say it would also reduce air pollution by 30 to 60%. The work would take 5 years to complete. But natural gas is a fossil fuel, and some argue that using it as a bridge fuel to a low-carbon economy is misplaced.
In the short term, this generator can help us to phase out all of the coal generation before around year 2035 to 2040. But after that, we are coming to phase out the gas after year 2040. So I think that will be a challenging part if we pass this project in this full scale. I will say I will not against this the coal to gas direction in the short term, but I will say the scale of this project need to be think about, need to be discussed again.
我们认为说，就是当然，天然气它相对于燃煤是它的排放跟空污的排放，就是无论是在碳或是空污都是相对比较少。对，但是它毕竟还是火力发电，那还是会造成不少的排放。对，那所以其实终极的目标还是希望说再生能源的比例可以大幅的提高。对，所以绿色和平这边还是希望说未来台湾的发展啊，无论是在单一的案场或者是整体的发展上， 都是以就是100%绿电为目标。
The environmental impact assessment at Mailiao may save these migratory terns for now. But Taiwan's decision to replace one fossil fuel with another may just end up kicking the can of fossil fuel-induced climate change a little farther down the road. Rick Yi and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
In another move designed to combat emissions, Taiwan's government has approved extending a program which gives subsidies to people who purchase electric scooters. The program gives at least 5,000 NT dollars or around $160 to those who want to buy an electric scooter. This program will run until 2026 as part of the country's efforts to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Since the program began 5 years ago, the number of electric scooters being used in Taiwan has risen from around 100,000 to well over 500,000. For a remote village in Taiwan's mountainous east, being detached from the outside world is a normal part of life, but being so cut off can be hazardous for locals. Now, thanks to a new cell phone tower, they're a little more connected. Jeremy Olivier has the story.
This video call is being made by a resident of Tongli Village, an indigenous community high up in the mountains of eastern Taiwan's Taroko National Park. The joy in the caller's voice is unmistakable. After waiting more than 50 years, the remote area is now able to share real-time communications with the outside world. It's all possible because of this new cell phone tower located close to the village, one which is powered entirely by renewable energy. Tongli has been without electricity or telephone coverage for decades. This earned it the nickname the Dark Village. The small community can't be reached by car, so food and supplies must be carried to it on foot. For those responsible, Tongli's remoteness can prove dangerous if someone is injured or falls ill.
当下没有网络、没有手机的话，可能要隔夜才会送达到医院。
The lack of cell phone coverage has made those in Tongli and its neighboring villages extremely self-reliant.
从以前就是到现在为止，其实我们身上完全就是没有一个通讯的状况。那过去我们族人，包括他们登山客，也发生了很多意外事故，几乎都是我们族人去协助。
But Taiwan's Communications Authority has been working with the country's 3 major telecom operators to help villagers reach out in case of emergencies. For the last 6 years, experts worked to construct this combined wind and solar-powered base station close to Tongli, the first to be built in Taiwan. It's an initiative that cost around $1 million. The government is also planning similar installations at all of Taiwan's hiking hotspots. Now, residents and visitors to Tongli can enjoy a strong cell phone signal, and they no longer have to rely on footbound couriers for help if something goes wrong. Andy Xue and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
In 2019, Taiwan's death rate exceeded its birth rate for the first time. The country's population is now officially shrinking. The government recently relaxed regulations on funding for fertility treatment, making it possible for more families to get government support. But getting treatment in Taiwan is not easy, and many families do not get access. Sam Robbins reports.
This is the Lin family. Mother Lin Jingyun gave birth to a healthy daughter when she was 38, after 3 cycles of in vitro fertilization, also known as IVF. The couple wants to have another child, and they can now do so with the help of the government.
我这一次其实也是跟先生说，有补助啊，那我们就赶快又再重新取卵一次。
Taiwan's population is declining, so the government has been subsidizing reproductive treatment for lower to middle income families. And to encourage more births, a recent change in policy now sees government subsidies available to all women under age 45, regardless of their economic status. But this isn't necessarily all good news, particularly for older women. Multiple embryos are often transferred in a single procedure to increase the chance of success. But this also increases the chance of twin pregnancies, which is more dangerous for mothers and babies. Taiwan currently has the highest rate of twins born through IVF in the world.
It's still a postnatalist policy. The government initiated the program in order to make more babies. So I would like the government to evaluate the program by like how much financial burden can be relieved from the families and how the health risk can be prevented rather than counting how many babies to be born.
Like other countries with similar subsidies, the Taiwanese government has now limited women under 35 to 1 embryo per transfer. But some scholars suggest that instead of focusing on the number of embryos, officials should try to solve the underlying issues that are discouraging reproduction.
而相对来讲，经济条件会是最大的限制。那所以在整个国家提供的人口的政策或鼓励生育政策，就更应该考虑如何适度的去分摊掉这种育儿家庭，如何去帮他把这些经济压力给解除掉。
And as far as government subsidies go, families are limited to heterosexual married couples. This is despite Taiwan being the first country in Asia to allow gay couples to marry. Single women aren't allowed to access the subsidies either. This is leading to questions of government bias.
Now we have the subsidies. It's public money. So it's really not fair that only those heterosexual couples who can use the public money to build their own families. But other citizens have to go abroad.
The expansion of subsidies will help more people like the Lins have children. But current limits on access will leave many more out in the cold. Leon Lien and Sam Robbins for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up, the Inline Skating Academy, hoping to train the next generation of pro athletes.
The cutest show is coming. Pop Nation, coming Monday, December 19th on TaiwanPlus.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. At least 16 people are dead and 17 missing after a landslide struck a campsite near Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. The landslide occurred at around 3 a.m. It engulfed a farmhouse providing camping facilities in a town of Batan Kali, about 30 miles north of the capital. More than 90 people were caught in a disaster. About 60 have so far been rescued. Over 400 personnel from multiple government agencies are continuing to scour the site for survivors. It's currently unclear what caused the landslide. Local media say there had not been any heavy rain or earthquakes in the area leading up to it. North Korea claimed to have tested a high-thrust solid-fuel missile engine, which experts say could be a significant breakthrough for the country's ballistic missile program. The test was conducted on Thursday and was overseen by the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, according to local media. Solid-fuel missiles are considered more stable and require less preparation time than their liquid-fuel counterparts. North Korea has conducted an unprecedented number of missile launches this year, including an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching the mainland United States. The Japanese government has released a new national defense report that includes a section about security in the Taiwan Strait. Japan's National Security Strategy Report was published on Friday. The document says Tokyo will not tolerate any unilateral actions by countries that threaten the status quo of the Asia-Pacific region. This tougher stance by Japan comes as China steps up its military provocations of Taiwan and its claims against the island nation's sovereignty. The report also outlines Japan's efforts to become more involved in a quadrilateral security dialogue. This unofficial group is made up of Australia, India, Japan, and the United States. It aims to tackle China's growing regional assertiveness. Taiwan's grouper exports have found a receptive market in Japan after China banned imports of the fish. Grouper flown directly from Taiwan is used in Japan for sashimi and sushi and as a hot pot ingredient. Beijing began implementing a ban on grouper imports from Taiwan in June, claiming prohibited chemicals and excessive antibiotics were found in the fish. In response, Taiwan's Council of Agriculture began looking for new markets to help local grouper fish farmers. The fish is a hit with the locals at one Japanese supermarket.
いかがですかね。
はい、美味しいです。名前は聞いてもお口に入れるのは初めてです。
お父さん味はどうですか。
どうぞやね。
Taipei Blockchain Week wrapped up on Friday. The event brought together around 2,000 tech entrepreneurs, investors, and other people interested in Web3 in Taiwan's capital for a week's worth of talks and presentations. TaiwanPlus reporter Jeremy Olivier has more on the gathering and what Web3 could mean for Taiwan.
Web3 enthusiasts gathered in the Taiwanese capital for the first ever Taipei Blockchain Week. The aim is to make Taiwan the next hub of decentralized web development. Even Taipei Mayor-elect Jiang Wan-an came to show his support. Organizing the event is Bujidao, a loosely knit collective of tech employees and entrepreneurs who are passionate about Taiwan's potential to be a leader in Web3.
I think the best thing about Taiwan is talent, because Taiwan has great developers, and that's, I think, the key to Web3 technology and adoption. So I think that's like what Taiwan has that comparative to the rest of the world.
But what is Web3? And why do Bujidao and so many others want Taiwan to get on board with it? The term describes a kind of internet development based on decentralized blockchains, public ledgers that keep records of digital transactions. The most well-known applications in Web3 are cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, and NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, which have mostly included digital artworks. But those involved in this industry say the technology can be used for virtually anything. You can see from the crowds here that there's definitely a keen interest in getting Taiwan more involved in international Web3 trends. But the question remains, outside of this group of enthusiastic, mostly young people, is Taiwan generally on board with these developments? Computer science professor and Silicon Valley veteran Liao Shiwei says that Web3 has many potential benefits for the country, but the regulatory environment is keeping Taiwan from realizing its full potential.
I think the government doesn't give clear guidance. They hang a sword on top of these entrepreneurs. The sword can drop anytime from your transaction now all the way to 5 years later. They can penalize you in some way you don't expect, because you see commodity, you see labor, should it be taxed, should it be regulated as securities, should it be regulated as money? They didn't say.
Even government officials have made a big push for Taiwan's adoption of Web3. Digital Minister Audrey Tang has said that the technology can be deployed to thwart cyber attacks from China, among other uses. Her new Ministry of Digital Affairs has Web3 as one of its areas of focus. But not everyone is so eager to run headfirst into what is still considered a Wild West industry area. The spectacular collapse of the cryptocurrency market in the US and allegations of fraud by FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried has caused some hesitancy. Estimates ranging in the hundreds of thousands of people in Taiwan were affected by the FTX bankruptcy. Tech worker Samuel was one of them. He's now more critical about the technology and its usefulness in Taiwan.
Is that I just do not see a killer application of the blockchain itself. It's like people were saying about like putting assets on like asset record, like actual asset, like your house, your like physical assets, records on the blockchain. And there are a few companies are doing so, but it's just like there's no application that blockchain can do while other technologies could not. So it's been a hype.
And because of the recent problems with blockchain technology, some experts are reminding Taiwanese people and businesses to look before they leap.
I would advise caution, because this is not a place that has incorporated a lot of like thousands of years of wisdom in terms of accounting and legal yet. So I think in practice, the blockchain world should have incorporated more like check and balance.
But such voices seem to be few and far between in Taiwan. And it's clear from the enthusiasm for Web3 development here that technologies like blockchain and crypto are not going away anytime soon. Patrick Chen, Howard Zhang, and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
In northeastern Taiwan, one woman is on a mission to create a top-notch team of inline skaters. She's founded a skating academy to train up young athletes and support them as they grow into adults. John Van Trieste has the story.
Zooming across the track come Huang Yushan's protégés. Huang is the founder of this sports training center specializing in inline skating. Here, kids learn how to skate like a pro, regardless of their background. The center provides trainees with 3 meals a day. It also makes sure they've done their homework. Being a coach and mentor is a job Huang takes seriously.
我觉得所有运动的教练都一样，就像你说的，它同时包含了可能父母啊、朋友啊，然后老师、教练，然后甚至是兄弟姐妹的这种角色。
Huang's sister helps cover the center's costs with money she earns from her sweet shop.
也不是说一个非常便宜的运动，因为你要买专业的器材，然后包含他们每次去比赛的轮子什么等等的。
They hope the kids they train will one day be good enough to go pro and earn money themselves. For now, the goal is to help the kids learn to overcome challenges and grow into good adults. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of an adorable black jaguar cub in a Mexico zoo. I'm Betty Chen. Take care and see you next time.